Hey cool kids, this week I'm doing the draw this again meme again. I'll be honest, this is sort of my go-to whenever I'm out of ideas, but it did also feel timely to redraw this particular piece, seeing as I just featured it in last week's sketchbook tour. I'm redrawing Oblivious, which is a picture I drew way back in 2011, and I think it's one of my first pieces of original digital art. Well, like, somewhat original, as in, like, it wasn't for a fandom or someone else's character, so I guess that's something. I've actually redrawn it a couple of times, once in 2013 and then again in 2015, so I've basically drawn this same picture every 2 years, which I think is fun. It's a cool way to track my improvement and how my style's morphed over the years. I thought about playing around with his pose more, pushing him and making him sort of a rag doll that's being pushed and pulled by the tentacles, but I felt like that strayed too much from the feeling of the original. I still kept some remnants of that with the tentacles in the mouth, but I gave him the same sort of blank expression the original had and kept the pose mostly the same. Now, all the prior iterations of this piece do make me cringe a little, and I feel like that's something I need to talk about. I know a lot of the time when I post an old sketchbook tour where I'm a little more negative, or when I'm watching another artist post a similar type of video, there will always be a couple of comments going, but wait, if you're saying your old art, which is at the skill level of my current art, is bad, does that mean you think my art is bad? And like, that's a thought process I honestly do understand. I know I used to get so frustrated watching other artists post sketchbook tours where they'd be showing all these amazing works of art and just like complaining about them the whole time. But the more I've been going through my old art, the more I realize it's not really a judgment on the quality of the art itself. I don't necessarily think my old art is bad, and a lot of it objectively is not terrible considering the tools I had and the time I had to spend. I think the thing that bothers me personally about my old art is that I know it's not where I wanted to be when I drew it, and most of the time I couldn't really figure out what was wrong with the piece while I was drawing it. So looking back on it now and knowing what I do, it's much easier to see where I went wrong with past pieces and pick apart the mistakes that younger me just couldn't see. And this isn't to say I can't still see things wrong with my current drawings. Like the anatomy in this piece, for example, is awful, which I mean does help it fit in line with all the past iterations, which just, anatomy's not my strong point. And like, what's even going on with that right arm? And then everything's just slightly slanted, but nothing I did could fix this. And I know I tend to rush through coloring, even though like it's my favorite part, but like I just want to get to the end and see how the final piece will work out, and it definitely shows in this piece, and it's something I really need to work on, but I still really like this piece. I think it looks much more lifelike than any of the past iterations, and even though the composition is a lot safer than what I had wanted, I think it came out nicely. You can hopefully see that I've improved since 2012, which was the real point of this piece. And I'll probably look back at this in a couple of years and pick apart everything I don't like. Hopefully by then I'll be able to draw something even better. Or maybe not, maybe I've peaked. I really hope not though. But that's all the time I have today. On a side note, I may not be able to get a video out for next week. I'm still trying my best, but I'm running out of time to make anything, so if that's the case, I'll see y'all in September. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye!